Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Spotify clone. So this is the fifth part of that clone. So we are building Spotify audio streaming platform. So it's kind of Spotify and YouTube type mixed platform. Okay, so far we already create half of the backend uh, codes. Okay, so now in this video I'm gonna associate all the API into the front end. So we are going to achieve this type of UI. Okay, and you can see this is the explore page. So now gets into the VS Code. So we already work with this user API, and now it's time to work with audio API. So I already create this file. Okay, and you guys know my typing speed is very slow, so I just I paste and I explain each code. Okay, so this is my audio API, so which means I separate each file. Okay, so it would be very easy to maintain for. So my code structure is all about production level code structure. Okay, so if you watch my previous video, so where I explain all the things, and so yeah, so I separate store. So here we are using Redux Toolkit. Okay, so we have three files. One is store, second is API, and third is slice. Okay, so inside API we are handling all the API routes, and inside slice we are handling the thunk. Okay, the Redux thunk and reducer, extra reducer, right? So let me explain to you. And this is the base URL. Okay, and this URL comes from the front backend. Let me show you. This is the base URL. You can see, guys, and this is the base URL. This is the base URL API audios. Okay, this is the base URL in my backend. So that is the things in front end. We are creating base URL API audios, and then so this is the base URL, and yeah, we are using Axios, and then yeah, so this is the Axios config. So we are providing a data, so that's why we. So this is the with credential true, and now this is the first API routes. Okay, so first is upload audio API. So yeah, this is the base URL. So we are so when you upload something, we use post, and then base URL, and then audio data, and this data comes from the component. Okay, and we are using multi-part form data, which means we are providing audio files, image. Okay, so if you only provide text, so we don't need to provide this multi-part form data. Okay, and then Axios config, these things. Otherwise you can get error, across error, maybe course error, or other error you can get. So make sure you should provide this Axios config, right? This with credential true. And as I told you, this audio data comes from like a component. Okay, and then this is the first API controller. Second is get, which means we are fetching series list API, right? So this is the base URL and slash series, right? So I'll show you the again the routes. So you can, this is the audio route. So yeah, this is the first route, post, like upload, and then series slash series, right? So yeah, this is a series. So yeah, the same, this is the best best URL, and then slash series, and then export const, it's a wall audio API, which means I can get all the audios. So we are using get, so base URL, and then yeah, so you can see we don't have further any URL slice then empty, right? So that's why we don't have any further base URL dot. Okay, so we have only base URL. And then third is audio, only particular audio, fetch audio API. So we have base URL, and then we have audio ID. You can see here. So we are using clone. So this audio ID we can get from params. Okay. So yeah, this is the things we are getting. Yeah. So we are using here string. Yeah, string. Yeah. So audio, and then yeah, we are providing empty array. Empty object, and the fourth is the here, yeah, we are talking about this fetch audio API, and the next is toggle like API. Similarly, in a base URL, and then ID, audio ID, and then like, you can see here. You can see like router.get.audio ID.get audio, and then put. We are using put here for this URL, export fetch audio ID, and then base URL, then audio ID, this, right, output, and then toggle like API, base URL, slice, then DORL, that means we are using dynamic audio ID, and yeah, this is the dynamic audio ID for toggle like, this is a dynamic audio ID, then slash bookmark, so slash bookmark, and then we are providing empty object. And after that, we are using a viewed, like in a viewed router, so base URL slash audio ID, which means this audio ID, and then viewed, after that delete audio URL, you can see here, this one, slash base URL, then slash audio ID, okay, and then we are using update audio API, which means edit audio ID, this one. So this is the base URL, and then slash audio ID, dollar audio ID, dynamic, and then form data. We are getting form data from a backend because we are editing the things, so that's why we are providing multi-part form data. And then after that, add comment API, this one. So base URL, then slash audio ID slash comment, right? So yeah. So yeah, so this is our audio API. Now we are going to work with user slice. So let me create audio slice. Audio slice.js, and I'm pasting my code, and then I explain to you all the code. Don't worry, guys. I'm here to explain you. Okay, so we are importing create slice and create async thunk. So as you know, we are using Redux Toolkit, and then we are importing audio API. Okay, so if you want to, you can handle both API routers and async thunk and reducer inside one file. But so I have a lot of router and reducers, so it makes noise. So it create a messy. That's why I separate. Okay, so you can handle inside this try block, that controller. Okay, that API endpoint. Okay, so I create separately API endpoint, and all the production level code people use it. So that's why. And yeah, so this is my first thunk upload audio, and this is the create thunk. So it's a method from toolkit, and yeah, so this is the file name to debug in Redux Toolkit, software. So for that, you can debug all the code, all the Redux things, how actually Redux work, how state management work. So in order to understand under the hood, so you can debug. That's why this name is all about. And then we are using async, which means it takes time. So it's a asynchronous function. So when you use async, that means we use await, because this is an API, so it takes time. So we are providing audio data. This audio data comes from the component, okay, the maybe UI component where user provide the entire data. Okay, so yeah, so we want to we will create that upload component, but so from that we can get this audio data. So we are extracting from that, and then thunk API. Okay, thunk API means this, yeah, this audio API. Okay, so the name, so like you can put any name. Okay, so yeah, this is the thunk API, and then we are calling that upload audio API. Okay, this is we are calling API dot upload audio API, and then we are providing audio data. Okay, so we are calling like we are sending request to backend. On this, let me get another thing. So this is the base URL, and this is the upload URL. So you can see base URL, then audio data. So this is our first API. So we are sending the request to the backend, and then if backend is process all the data and they validate if all the things is correct, then we can get a response from backend. So if you watch my previous video, so all the, let me show you again, controller, audio controller. So actually first so I can explain one code, one, then you can understand others. Okay, so first, this is the audio slice. So here we are sending the response to backend on this this URL. Okay, let me. So this base URL and then this audio. Okay, so like we are sending the response to the backend, and then backend process all the information like this title, category, and then validate all the things, and then after that if it's correctly right, or yeah, then we are sending response. So we are sending response this audio and series data. Okay, yeah, so from here we are sending a request, and then we are getting the response, and then whatever you get the response, okay, whatever you get the response from the backend, we return this data. Okay, so here we are extracting that data. Okay, and then this is the catch block. If something is wrong, then we can provide this this error. So we are using reject with value. This is the Redux Toolkit built-in method. Okay, so where you can extract the data. This is the first. This is the first thunk. Then second thunk is fetch series list. This is second thunk. Okay, and this is the second base URL, and then like it's a endpoint. Okay, base URL and then series. So yeah, similarly, so we are not getting any data from a component. That's how we are using double underscore. Okay, and we are using thunk API, which means we only get the response data. We are not sending any data to the backend. Just we only want to get the data from database. That's why we are extracting the data, and then we are accessing series list data. This we are sending here, this series list data. Okay, inside this series list document, whatever the data is, I can get here. I can get inside data series list. Okay, this is the second thing. Then third thing is audios, all the audios. Okay, so yeah, so we are also getting the audios, we are fetching the audios, so that's why we are not sending any data from component or from front end. So we are only getting the data from backend, which means database. So yeah, so you can see we are sending this audio. See, inside audio document, whatever the data is, whatever the field is, we are getting, we are extracting all the data inside the data and data dot audios. Okay, this is the third. And then fourth is fetch audio. So we are getting particular audio. So this audio comes from that component, and that component extract audio from params. Okay, and yeah, we are it's a response. We are getting response. So we are using here a console log. Okay, and then we are checking. We are checking, yeah, response or not, success or not, fail to fetch. Okay, then we are throw an error, and then we are returning the entire object, inside this response data, right? So this one, get audios, get audio by IDs. Okay, yeah, get audios. Yes, this data, right? And yeah, that's how you can see response data dot audio. I think, let's see, maybe we are, yeah, audios. And then toggle like similarly, and yeah, audio thunk API, and then we are sending response, and then we are extracting the data from here, this data. Where is my toggle? Toggle. Yeah. So yeah, here we users toggle, and then audio. Yeah. So yeah, data. So here we are entirely that object we are getting. We are assigned. We are return entire object, and then toggle bookmark. Similarly, same things. Okay, and yeah, same thing. Toggle like and toggle bookmark same, and then update audio viewed, same things, and yeah, delete audio, also same things. Yeah, and then update audio also, but in update audio you can see edit audio, we are also getting form data. We are getting audio data and form data, and then thunk API. Thunk API, it's yeah, and form data, because we are editing. So whatever the data we want to update from front end, we are sending, we are request to backend, and then backend process, and then backend can send back to the front end, and then yeah, so we send the request, and then we are getting that request from here. So whatever we get, we assign this data, and then we return, we return that entire data object, and then add comment. So we are getting audio ID, and then also content. And yeah, because whatever data or text we are getting from we are sending from front end to backend, and backend process, then we can get back it yeah, we can get back the response from backend to front end. Yeah, so data dot comment. Let me show you, man. This audio. So this entire object, I'm just this comment entire object, I'm just assigned, I'm returned in data. So this is my thunk, and now we are going to work reducer. This is the first initial state. So audios, because all the audio we want to put inside array. So this is a so like, yeah, audios means all the audios. Let me show you. So you can see this is this wall audios. Okay, this is the wall audios, and if I click on it, so this is a particular audio. This is a particular audio. So this is the things I'm talking about. So yeah, so that's why audios, then it's an empty array, and then audio data null. So first of all, I don't know which audio I'm talking about, and then current audio, that means which particular audio I'm clicking on it. I'm clicking, okay. And then series list, also we have a lot of series, that's why we have to put array, and then loading at initial false, and then here also null, and then we are creating a reducer, okay. And the name audio initially state, okay, then reducer like, and initially state this state. So I separately create, you can create inside this reducer, but yeah, so it's a very easy. So yeah, then reducer, inside we are providing object, then clear error, it's a name, and then state, then yeah, state.error null, and then it's an extra reducer. So we are using thunk, okay. So that's why we have to, if you use thunk, then you have to use extra reducer, or if you don't use thunk, then you can handle inside the reducer, okay. So this is my first extra reducer. So there is a built-in method builder, so we provide as a parameter, and then we access builder, and this is the add case also, it's a method, okay. And then we have three options, like fulfill, okay, fulfill, rejection, and pending. So I think I handle all the thing inside. So yeah, I handle add matcher. So I handle two things, pending and reject, because so I have a lot of things, so I create two things already. So yeah, pending and rejected, but fulfill, so yeah, you can use separately, don't worry. I have another API, I have another extra reducer where I can use separately, like fulfill, rejection, and pending. But in this reducer, extra reducer, I create two files already. Yeah, so first my upload audio, it's a fulfill. So we provide two parameter, state and action. So state, it's a this state, okay. So state dot loading at first false, and then I unshift. This is the action payload audio, entire audio I just assign, yeah, this state dot audios, okay. And then action payload dot series, if exist, then run this block of code, state dot series dot unshift. Unshift, I think you know guys, shift means you can put, unshift means at the first of the array you can put the data, right? So that is the things, unshift. And yeah, this is the upload audio. And then second, So but I want to explain to you these two things, because after first we can see the pending, this, then we can see the fulfill, then we can see the reject. So first pending action, then action type that start with audio and its type end with pending, then run these things. Here we can see state.loading true and then state.null, and then add matcher end with reject and start with audio. So run this state.loading false, state error dot is equal to action payload, right? Yeah. So second is fetch series list, fulfill state action and then state.series list, assign action payload, entire payload, and then state.loading false. So entire, which means whatever the data I'm getting from that backend. So I assign this series list. Okay. And then similarly all audios, action payload audios, and then fetch audio. So now guys you can see here I using separately pending, right? So yeah, pending, then fulfill, then reject. Now you can see, right? So as I told you, I'm using, yeah, so both cases you can handle it. So yeah, pending and then state.loading true and then state.error null and then fulfill. If the code is correctly fetched, then I assign first I make it loading false, and then I assign all the action payload document inside current audio, and then fetch audio if rejected, loading false, and then all the action payload inside error. And similarly toggle. So right, it's a fulfill if the toggle endpoint is sending correctly all the data, then I handle here the state. So audio like user ID. If you see, you can see three things: audio ID, okay, user ID, and users. So three things I am sending from backend to frontend, and here I am handling audio like user ID. Like means true or false. User ID means whatever user ID is coming from backend, and audio ID also. The action payload. Okay, interaction payload. I just extracting the three things from that action payload, because I don't want to extract all the data. So yeah, and then I'm handling audio. So current audio is equal to, so current audio I assign inside audio. So if audio inside audio ID is equal to audio ID, if equal, that means whatever I'm getting from front end, backend, and what data means current audio ID, which means if I click on this, so I'm clicking this particular audio, okay, so that means this is the current audio. You can see this audio ID, this is the current audio ID, okay, this is the current audio ID, and so, and this audio ID means whatever audio ID is coming from database, means backend. So I am just comparing with help of strict equal, which means this audio must be equal. Okay, if it's true, if it is true, that means this block of code will be run. So if that audio and current audio is exactly same, then we are increasing audio into likes. So inside audio document there is a field like, okay, so I am just adding, I'm just putting that audio ID inside that likes array. So I'm updating it. Okay, after that we are checking what? We are checking if already, if user ID already inside that audio in a likes field. Okay, so that's why we are checking. If this same we are checking. Include means this method can check if exit or not. If exit, then this it become true, and here we can handle it. And then liked, if you can get this like true and this is like not true, then write this, then push user id, okay, inside likes. That means user don't like this audio, or else if is like is not there and like is here, that means I have to remove. So here I'm using filter. So what filter does? So filters compare id and id. If the id is match, if two id is match, if two id are matching, that means that particular id should be removed. Let's say we have 5 id, and let's say this user id and the backend user id are matching. That means we have to remove this user id. So yeah, this is the code. So just here we are handling like toggle, which means if audio is liked by user, so we have to remove. If user don't like it, that means we have to put their user id inside the uh, the backend. So we are handling state management, means we want to show the UI. Okay, so that's why we are managing here, because we want to update instantly the UI. That's why we have to manage here. If you don't manage it, so you have to refresh the code, then you can get the data. But without refreshing the code, if you want to manage, if you want to update your UI, so you have to manage state. That's the state is all about. And then toggle bookmark. Okay, fulfill. So accent.payload.audio id. If this entirely true, if it's entirely true, then run this block of code. Accent payload.bookmark. So it's a temporary name. Okay, state.current.user bookmark. So we are assign this, right, and then based on it we can handle on UI. And then update audio views. So we are updating accent.payload.audio state.current audio, and then delete. So we are filter it. So you guys know how filter work. So filter works similarly. If two IDs match, so that filter remove which ID is matching, 2. And yeah, so this is the A, and A is equal to ID. If not, then remove that, right? Then remove that. So delete audio, and then update audio. Update audio is simple. Assign all the entire document inside the current audio, and then add comment like this. If state.current audio and state.current audio.comment is there, that means run this block of code. So here I push this entire document inside current audio document comments field. Okay, and I already explained to you add matcher and these two things, and this is a reducer accent, and yeah, and this is export. So this is the audio controller, sorry, audio slice, right? Yeah, and now we are going to create. Now we are going to create. Now we are going to create all the component. So now we need to work with the component. So first we are going to build the component like headers. We have to create a headers. There is a things head.jsx. So yeah, we paste our code as you know guys, I'm a very so first we are so as we are using React icons. So yeah, React icons slash f, so f bars, and this is the component. This is the component of function. It's a toggle sidebar. Okay, so this is the props. Okay, we are using props because this header we are going to handle on um, the app layout. Okay, so we are returning this entire header. So I think we should now I think it's okay. Yeah. So this is the header. So we are using DG ground black. Okay, you can see sticky top, sticky top 0, and then Z40 shadow XL and width full. Okay, and then we are using diff. Inside diff we have toggle sidebar button only on desktop. So I want to say this is the flexible or responsible code. Okay, so we have two codes we have two design for desktop UI and mobile UI. So you can see here. So toggle. So I have like a comment toggle sidebar button only on desktop. So you can see on desktop this button, this menu button. So it's if bars. Okay, and for above is small we hidden. Okay, this bar like yeah, block hidden, right? and and also it's a makeable, so I can call Spotify. Okay, and yeah, like you can design based on your requirement. So I want to just provide you the basic things. Okay, this is the header, and now I'm gonna create the navigator. So well, now okay, so this is the navigator bar, and we are importing link. So from React Router DOM, and then all the icons from F icons. Okay, and then we're handling all the routes. Okay, all the dynamic routes, like all the navigation. Okay, all the navigation. So it's a nav items inside the sidebar you can navigate. Okay, so that's why I handle to slash icon home, text home, explore library profile. Okay, so let me show you first. So this is the things home, explore library profile. So this is the nav items. Okay, so that is the thing, right? So like you can handle different way, but it's very easy. So you don't need to explain again and again. And yeah, that is called like don't repeat yourself, right? So you have to figure out the ways. Yeah, this is a nav items, and this is a function. So yeah, this is the component, and I provide two props, each sidebar open and sets each sidebar open. Okay, and then toggle sidebar white and text visibility, which means you can see only this on PC, and you can see here on mobile. So yeah, and it's a toggle function, like if you click on it it close or vice versa. So yeah, this logic is all about. So we are providing props. So here we are not handling the state because we are going to handle in different in page, or yeah, that's why we send props. And then this sidebar for PC, and it will be hidden on mobile. So that's why we are using, and we are using dynamic, style. That's why you are using string. So hidden, like, lock and fix, insert y left 0, and this is white, transition wall duration 30, easing out, that's 50, and then is sidebar. The white will be 64 and 24. If the is sidebar open, then it will be, if it's true, then it will work, or if it's false, then it's, that means if I click on it, then it can uh, grow up to 64, or if it's closed, then 24. And then toggle button, it's a button UI. So padding 4, flex column, and then a full. Okay, and toggle button, it's a button component, and we have, so one click we are sending toggle sidebar, and then self end, padding 2, round full, and hover, search and transition wall duration 300. Yeah, and then each sidebar open. So it's a ternary operator. If it's true, then run this block of code, or if it's false, then run this block of code. Right? So if times and if bars. Let me show you, man. These things. You click on it, you can see menu bar or crossbar. Menu bar, crossbar. So this is the code is all about. If times and if bar. If it's open, then you can see times, if times. If it's closed, you can see bar, right? And then navigation links. Margin top 8, flex 1, that means you can see arrow, or you can see vertically, like this, flex column, and then justify between. Yeah, so we make it in a column, like, icon and the text. So we are using map, so we are rendering all the UI. That's why we are using map. So inside this div, let me show you. This is the main div. Okay, this is the main div. Inside we have an icon and text, icon and text. Okay, this is the main div, nav. And then we have div. This is the nav items, and it's a link. And yeah, so this is come from here. These things too, nav items, and then class. It's a dynamic. Justify start, justify center. Sidebar open. Flex, icon center, gap 3, T. So it's a very basic UI. You can see sidebar open, justify start, and then icon. So yeah, if it's true, then each sidebar open, then you can see this text. Otherwise not. Let me show. If it's open, then you can see the home. If it's closed, you can see only icon. Right. So here I'm handling it. Okay. So each sidebar is open. So it's a and chaining operator. Okay. So yeah, if it's true, then run this code also. Yeah. So rendering these things, and if it's not, then you can only see that thing, right? So this is the code for PC version. Now it's a mobile version, like on a bottom nav bar for mobile version, and this will be hidden for a backend. Sorry, a PC. Let me show you. So you can see, guys, in phone version we have this top bar. Yeah, enough. Sorry, it's a nav bar. Home, you can get home, explore page, UI, right? So cool, man. Then library, you can see library and profile, yeah, profile. So yeah, so you cannot see the sidebar, right? You can see the sidebar because so yeah, I just hidden these things. So yeah, and yeah, like you have to understand the you know CSS. So I'm using Tailwind CSS, and yeah, so large. So when it is large, it's hidden, and for only mobile version, you can see 6 in bottom 0, left 0, right 0, and then this in the background color, and Z50, and the inside the nav bar flex justify round item center and padding 2, and then nav items map link, right? And yeah, it's a link. Inside same we have item.icon, text large, and then expand these things. Yeah, this is the navigator. So this is the navigator, and this is the header, right? So let's integrate these two components inside my main folder. Like we have, so this is like app route, path route, and main layout. So we have to handle this main layout, and then while it imports, we have to just do the things, and yeah, look at the things, man. Header, and the code. Yeah, yeah. Now if you run on it, so let's see. Yeah, so this is my. So now we can see our UI. So already we see our previous UI, like my project UI, but this code UI. Let's see. This is the UI. Okay, so you can see a home. So we have this home. We're gonna have explore. Okay, so yeah, this is the UI and this is the header. Okay, so if you click on it, you can see. You can see, right? And yeah, this is the app name, Spotify. So yeah, if we create this is the header, and this is the nav bar. Let's see in font font version. Oh my God, man. Yeah, this is the full version. You can see Spotify, home, explore. Yeah, yeah. So for now, I think we have to close this video, and we are going to work a new page, new main layout, and in next video. So for now, thank you so much.